Hello everyone, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie B. I read a lot of books, and today I have a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, Carrie Soto Is Back. There you go. So I've read a couple of Taylor Jenkins Reid books now. I've read Malibu Rising, I have read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Daisy Jones and the Six. I think it's just the three there, and now with Carrie Soto Is Back that makes it 4. And I just love the fact that they're not sequels, but they're in the same universe. Like, there was an appearance of Carrie Soto in Malibu Rising. There was a character from Malibu Rising that was in Daisy Jones and the Six, reference to an actor in Malibu Rising that was in Evelyn Hugo. So yeah, it's quite a nice in the same universe kind of deal, which I'm really enjoying. Yeah, I'll just get straight in with the blurb of this book. Carrie Soto is fierce, and her determination to win at any cost has not made her popular. By the time Carrie retires from tennis, she is the best player the world has ever seen. She has shattered every record and claimed 20 slam titles, and if you ask her, she is entitled to every one. She sacrificed nearly everything to become the best, with her father as her coach. But 6 years after her retirement, Carrie finds herself sitting in the stands of the 1994 US Open, watching her record be taken from her by a brutal, stunning British player named Nikki Chan. At 37 years old, Carrie makes the monumental decision to come out of retirement and be coached by her father for one last year in an attempt to reclaim her record. Even if the sports media says they never liked the battle axe anyway. Even if her body doesn't move as fast as it did. And even if it had been swallowing her pride to train with a man she once almost opened her heart to, Bo Huntley. Like her, he has something to prove before he gives up the game forever. In spite of it all, Carrie Soto is back for one epic final season. Taylor Jenkins Reid has such an incredibly unique way of writing that makes you believe everything. Like, it started with Evelyn Hugo. It made me feel like she was a real person. I wanted to read Evelyn Hugo's Wikipedia page. I wanted to go back and find Evelyn's films, and then had to remind myself, this is a fictional character, and that Wikipedia page doesn't exist, and her movies don't exist. But my brain, because of the way it was written, believed this was a real person. It was the same with Daisy Jones and the Six. I was reading it thinking, I want to read the Wikipedia page, I want to go back and listen to the music, I want to see all the gossip pages, and yeah, it's the same with Carrie Soto Is Back. The way it's written makes you believe that Carrie Soto was a real person who had a million slam wins, 20 slam titles, record breaker in her sport, and yeah, it made me believe she was entirely real. And for somebody who doesn't really watch tennis, it made me want to watch tennis. Who knows if that will actually happen, but it made me feel like I was in the know a little bit, because there were things that were talking about the art of the game and stances and like the speed of hitting the ball, and it was just like, I think there's something about knowing the inner workings of something like that that makes it a bit more fascinating. It's like, if I was, because admittedly I'm not big on golf, but my dad is a huge golf fan, and I'm sure if I read a book about golf where it explained like the intricacies of the sport, it might lend a different viewing experience knowing about it. But yeah, I just so enjoyed this, and I felt so much for Carrie, because she's one of those people where she doesn't wear a heart on her sleeve. She's very in toward herself. The people she's closest to are her father and her agent, basically. When she finds out that Nikki Chan's going to break her record, she's there going, I can't let this happen. Like, if Nikki's going to take that record from me, I'm going to one-up her. And there's points when Carrie talks about respecting the people that came before her. But at first, Nikki comes out and says, is it Nikki or was it one of the other ones? There was a younger tennis player in the book that says, oh, I've never heard of Carrie. And Carrie comes out and says, well, if she wants to ignore the trailblazers before her, she can do. But I will always respect the people that came before me. You see Carrie as quite inspiring in that way. But at the same time, you realise that she doesn't really let people in. And when she was initially out playing, she never really made friends. It comes to a point when she just realises that she can't keep going in her career with her dad as her coach. There needs to come a point when she needs to split that and get somebody else, because she realises that when she wants to further her career, having her father as her coach isn't going to cut it anymore. Some people think that's a bit heartless because it's just like your father was your coach, blah blah blah. But I think there does come a point in any profession where if your trainer is family, because you see it with like momagers and stuff, actors and singers whose managers are their parents, and you realise there comes a point in their career when it's just like you need to sever that connection. You really do need to find somebody else, because ultimately family at the helm may hold you back a little bit. It kind of depends on that relationship, I think. Yeah, so it's just, you see Carrie kind of grow up, because you find out that her mum died when she was quite small, and so it literally just her and her father, and her father keeps instilling the idea in her that she is going to be the best tennis player. And, you know, from the second that he first put a tennis racket into her hand, he was just like, she's natural, I'm going to train her. She comes to terms with how her father grew her career, treated her as she was growing up, how that affected her personality and the way she interacted with other people on the court. And yeah, there's a love story at the heart of it. I'm not going to deny that. There is. You find out that Carrie had a lot of like one-night stands, short relationships, and when she's coming back out of retirement in the mid-90s, because this is all set in the mid-90s, so she's preparing for so is it the 95 or 96 games that she comes back for, and when she's going back into training, she realises because she burned so many bridges when she originally played. I say burned bridges, she never made the bridges in the first place, because she never became friends with her opponents. It was almost like a self-preservation thing for her, I think, because it makes it easier for her to go out and actually play the game and knowing that she's not actually friends with her opponent, because she doesn't want to feel like the idea that like, oh, maybe I need to go easy on her because I know that her knee's acting up. And she was just like, no, I'm a tennis player, and what weaknesses I know about my opponents I will use against them, which it's a thing that happens in sports. Sorry, is it right? Probably not, but it does happen. And if somebody sees, oh, are they favouring one leg over the other, you know, they're going to try and use that to their advantage. That's the way it is. That's the way sports is. And there comes a point when Carrie's knee, it's towards the end of her initial run, where her knee starts acting up, and after a couple of bad games, she just like, you know what, if I've got any chance of like getting through this, I need to retire, I need to have knee surgery and all this kind of stuff. And when she's retraining, she's aware that she's not young anymore, she's not as fast, she's had the issues with her knee, and in trying to find people who will play with her to help her get back into training, only one person admits that they will play with her, and that's Bo Huntley. Is it Bowen? I think his name is Bowen, and it's short to Bo. Because you know that there was a relationship before that they had, and Carrie insists that Bo never called her back, and then Bo comes back and says, well, you didn't really tell me to call you back. If anything, you said you encouraged this to be a short-term thing. And yeah, so you're just seeing the little sparks that happen as you see the friendship develop, which is, it's cute. It's cute. It's a love story. It's a rom-com. But then you've got just, I feel like the relationship aspect is kind of second place to what the actual story is of Carrie coming to terms with her previous career, the state that her body is in now, and using what she does know to her advantage. She's going against these young'uns and the ones who try to deny the legacy that Carrie has carried, and she's there going, I know these games, like I've played these courts before, because it's just like she has a record for playing at Wimbledon. If she has to choose between like grass and clay, clay is her weakest, but she finds a way to use what she knows to her advantage, knowing that clay is a weak spot for her, and realising, yes, this is a weak area for me, but I have experience, I do know how the ball bounces on certain courts, and yeah, it's just fascinating. For somebody who's never had that big of an interest in tennis, it has made me kind of incredibly interested in tennis. And my friend Jenny is a big tennis fan, so I think she'll be very glad to hear that a book has made me want to watch tennis. Yeah, so the story is mainly seeing Carrie coming back trying to reclaim that record, finding herself at the age of 37, retraining, figuring out her strengths and advantages over the young uns, the new ones, and trying to figure out her place in her sport. But yeah, it's so good, it's fascinating, it's funny, it's heartbreaking, and yeah, I feel like it's got everything you want out of a Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I loved it. Carrie Soto Is Back. Taylor Jenkins Reid. There is your front cover. Go read it. And if you haven't read any Taylor Jenkins Reid before, I don't even know what the best order is to do everything in, because yeah, I do have One True Love's reserved. Ooh, After I Do. That sounds interesting. I may just have to reserve that one. Yeah, because on here, the ones that I haven't read are One True Love's and After I Do. But yeah, I imagine there is an order to read them so that it all makes sense in regards to how they fit into each other's stories, because, as I said, it's not a sequel, but it's all within the same universe, and so you do see characters popping up. And so the fact that you did see Carrie in Malibu Rising, and there's references to the story that Carrie is relevant to in Malibu Rising when you get Carrie's backstory at the beginning of the book, and it takes you through all of her previous games and what led up to her getting a new coach after she went to her dad, like, enough's enough, we need to stop, I need to find someone new, to then looking at what is the current time for that, the mid-90s, and getting back into the game, and then seeing what happens after that year. I'm trying to be very cryptic and I don't think I'm doing very well, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Jenny, I think it's hilarious that this is actually making me want to watch tennis. So yeah, Carrie Soto Is Back. Taylor Jenkins Reid. So good, so funny, so heartbreaking, so heartwarming, and then you've also got that little love story that's happening as well, and yeah, it's just everything you want and everything you need, and just a really entertaining. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on Sunday with another video. Stay safe, everybody. I love you all.